Yo, so I normally upload training videos on Monday because that's when I started like my microcycle. But today was my birthday, quite a busy day, and I got home late, so I didn't feel like training, so I'll just delay it one day. But I still wanted to make a video, and I received the question, which was, hey Tiago, I just finished cutting, I'm gonna bulk for the first time. And Jason Blaha said that you should eat as much carbs as possible, but when I do so, I get very sick, and I can't eat, and I feel sick. So what's going on? So what is going on is that you have poor insulin sensitivity, which means that you're insulin resistant. Now, if you want to know more about insulin sensitivity, you can just get a basic physiology book. But basically, every time that you, on practical terms, every time that you eat carbs, you're gonna feel like shit, depending on the amount and the frequency. So what can you do about it? Well, the bad news is that a large part of insulin sensitivity is genetic. Now, there is some things you can do about it, which I'll explain later, but just keep in mind that some people just don't get very well with carbs. It's just the way things are. Now, the first thing I would recommend to you is try to spread your carbs more around the meal. So let's say that you're eating 300 carbs, right? Let's say you're eating 100 for breakfast, 100 for lunch, and 100 for dinner, right? So, for example, try to have 50 at breakfast, 100 at lunch, 50 on a snack, 50 on another snack, and then 50 on dinner. So 50, 100, 50, 50, 50. So that gives 300, same amount of carbs at the end of the day, but you're spreading it in 5 meals instead of only 3 meals. So try that out. Another thing is that you can try to get leaner. The leaner you are, the better insulin sensitivity you have. So if you decide to bulk at, let's say, 14% body fat, and that's lean enough for you, try to get a bit leaner before trying to bulk. So put that, just an idea. If you don't want that, another thing you can do is try to get your carbs from a source that you truly enjoy. For example, me, if I eat a lot of carbs, I might, like a huge amount of carbs, I might get the same feeling, just like you're describing. But if I eat carbs that I just really fucking like my favorite cereal or something like that, I will not get that sick feeling that easily. I have to eat more of it to get the same consequence, basically. So the other thing you must consider is, even if everything else fails, what I just told you, you can just simply not eat that many carbs. What Jason Baha said to you, or in a video, whatever he said, was that for the majority of people, if you're trying to gain muscle, if you're trying to get stronger, when you're at a surplus, it's better to that surplus of energy. It's better if they come from carbs, because they will improve your performance, and therefore you'll have an easier time getting bigger and stronger. That is absolutely true. But when people give advice, or at least good advice, they are trying to help the 95% of people. Okay, but that doesn't mean that in some topics you are the 5% that advice doesn't apply. Okay, and that is probably your case. So instead of trying to increase your carb intake to get the surplus, you can increase it either on protein or on fats. Obviously, the wiser choice would be both. So you don't have, it's not a requirement to get a shitload of carbs to get stronger and bigger. Okay, it's just like the recommended way for most people. You won't be missing out on anything. Your gains will be very similar. It might have a difference, but it's like so small. It's not even considering worth worrying about. Okay. So that's it. I think I said everything. First of all, try to spread your carb intake through more meals. Try to get leaner if you can, because that will improve your insulin sensitivity. Eat your favorite carb sources, and if nothing else works, just give up on carbs and increase your fat and protein instead. Now, when I say give up on carbs, I don't mean go fucking ketogenic or something like that. Just go as high on carbs as you can before you get sick. Okay, so that doesn't mean that if you're eating 300 grams now, doesn't mean that you should go back. You should lower it to 50. Okay, try lowering it to 250. See if that makes it feel sick. If it doesn't, if it does, lower it to 200. Get it as high as possible without getting sick, and then get the extra needed calories from fat and protein. So that's it. Hope it helps. Peace.